I think, Christian, never know, but I think we're live. I'm gonna check
Awesome.
our thing. Boom, boom, boom. There's an announcement and pin it to the top. I'm gonna do that with group size. Yep, so audio sounds good. Guys, if you are live, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. We'd love to see who's tuning in, seeing what we provided some killer info for you guys. I'm gonna just put to my other group here. Make sure we're good to go. Boom. Awesome. Christian, how you doing?
Great, man.
Yes, I'm fired up. You're all the way in Vegas. I'm all the way in Medellin, and we're making it happen. I'm looking outside. It was raining all day today, but it's getting a little nicer now. How's the weather in Vegas treating you?
Oh, it's great, man. It's hot.
Yeah,
It's amazing. You can go like at night. It's like burning.
nice. That's awesome. So I'm gonna see who's tuning in with us. We got a few people on right now inside of the 7FA group. Let's see how we're doing inside of our Facebook group, Marketing Agency Secrets. What's going on, Mr. Ryan Williams? Thanks for tuning in. Again, guys, if you're live, hashtag live if you are live. I'd love to see more comments on here. I want to provide as much value for you guys as usual. So first things first, because this is a little bit abnormal. Typically, I interview someone that's at doing 100K a month or 60, 70, 80K a month, and we're not there yet, but we are going to get there. Today, I'm interviewing, and not really necessarily interviewing, actually having Christian, who is funny. You ask me, what does Christian do? I feel like you do a lot of things in FAVA. You're not just like the sales guy, you're also a recruiter, and you built a lot of system. But tell the crowd a little bit about you and how long you've been involved in this, and then we'll dive into what we're going to dive into.
Yeah, so in the agency space, I've been for a couple of years. I have a marketing agency called CGO Marketing. I have currently 5 clients serving the real estate niche. And as part of that as well, I also do FAVA recruiting. So we help agency owners with Omer recruit first of all, virtual assistants. Second, call callers. Call callers can be ISAs or can be outbound sales representatives that have great English and can do phone sales. And third, media buyers or tech specialists. That includes web developers, web designers, Facebook ad specialists mostly. We have a proprietary hiring funnel, which includes a mixture of organic and paid. So we run our own ads to get great applicants. And that allows us to be very selective on who we send agencies to.
Yeah, perfect. And some of you guys probably didn't even read post the long post. I had a lot on my heart yesterday, especially as my birthday. I'm 26. Shout out to me. But it's actually a quick story, and I'll get to it towards the end of how we got to what we do now. But as creating the slides early, I was thinking like, oh man, should I just go on here and just pitch people? Like, what are we doing? I always think to myself, I hate that. I hate being pitched. Actually, I love the sales process, right? I love being sold to, but I just hate being pitched. Most people don't like to be pitched. But if you love sales, you love the process. So thinking, why not just give everything away? I'm going to give you guys everything away for free. Literally, you guys can learn how to do this. It will make more sense at the end. You'll understand what it is that we actually do and how we can help you. Because ultimately, as a business owner, your most valuable asset is your time, right? It's your time. It's not money. You can always make money, work and make money, but it's your time. Your most valuable asset is your time, especially when you scale, especially when you grow, and even in the beginning. And we're really gonna dive in here. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm not gonna go a little bit back and forth here. So, boom. Christian, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna share screen. I'm gonna minimize you so they won't be able to hear you. I can hear you. If you want to raise your hand. I'll jump in because only two of us, one of us can be here while I'm sharing the screen. So let me hide you for now. And I'm gonna dive right in. Boom, 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 and make sure we're good to go. Boom. Awesome. So, guys, we're gonna dive in on how to find, train, and develop your virtual assistant. Right. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, I can just dive in here and just tell you guys, what we do and how we find all these guys and all that stuff. But, if you're able to do this on your own, why not do it? Why not save, maybe save some money? Sure, you can do that. But we'll talk about the pros and cons of doing a little bit of both. And let's dive in, immediately off the bat, like what are some of the best places to find these virtual assistants? And off the bat, you can look at groups like Marketing Agency Secrets, right? We have, I believe we're about to hit 10,000 people. We're probably going to do that today or tomorrow, definitely over the next week. I'm sure there's a ton of virtual assistants, maybe even watching the replay. They're on here. I see them all the time. So that's potential. There's another one is on other SMMA groups, right? And we're not the only SMMA group. There's a lot of other SMMA groups, and there's actually virtual assistant groups as well. So you guys can, if you really seek it, there's ways to find them, right? You guys can also look into Upwork and FAVA. I've actually heard mixed reviews and more negative than positive. I've heard better reviews from Facebook groups, Upwork and FAVA. And then if you currently have a VA, you can always ask them for referral. You can ask them for maybe they have a friend, maybe they know someone. Who knows, right? It's a small world. There's a lot of people, in South America and the Philippines, wherever it may be, that they know someone that speaks really good English and whatever else it is. One thing I didn't talk about here, for me, one of the most important things when it comes to finding a VA, the most important thing, it's their English, number one, and it's their internet. Like those are two things that we can't. But it's funny, I'm in Colombia. You guys probably seeing I probably looks like I'm recording from a potato right now, and it's been the biggest uphill battle is going through the internet here, and it's super important. Like one of the things that we actually ask for virtual assistants is to send us their current Wi-Fi speed. If they have very, very bad Wi-Fi, we just assume that being able to work online throughout the day, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, however much it is going to be difficult. So the two things that I look for always is the English level and their Wi-Fi. Everything else, experience, how they worked with SMMA before, that's not as relevant to me because you can train them on that. And I'm gonna let Christian talk about that in just a minute about the SOPs and all that good stuff. If you guys have questions, by the way, your questions below. But again, I just wanted to dive in. I didn't want to sit there and tell you guys the sob story because don't worry. So here's the thing. Here's a few things to look for because going on Facebook groups and Fiverr and Upwork, yeah, it's free. For sure, you can just post, hey, I'm looking for a VA, and you're probably gonna get thousands of people to message you and, oh yeah, let me do it, let's work, blah 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 blah. And even have to go through this. And I know when Atlas first started, they had to go through this, and a lot of agencies had to go through this. And you have to be very wary because most people, when they sell you virtual assistants, first of all, they don't have legit companies. Like I know people that actually got their money stolen, quite literally. It doesn't happen often, but that does happen, and you need to be very cautious of that. Most people, when they're training their virtual assistants, they don't have a solid foundation to train them. They don't even know how to run an agency. They don't know how to build OPs. They don't know anything about anything. So you're trusting someone to find you a virtual assistant and train them based on things that they have no knowledge about. So how does that make sense? Why would you pay someone to do that for you? That's just point blank period. I also see all the time, oh yeah, we have great VAs for $1, $2 an hour. And people brag about that. In my head, I'm like, damn, you're bragging that you're paying an employee below average salary for, maybe it's not hardest work in the world and now you can ditches, I get it. But $2 an hour, even in the Philippines, is below average, right? In South America, it's way below average. It's almost 2 to 3 times below average. So I see people bragging about that. Sometimes I see big companies brag about paying VAs $2 an hour. And I'm like, dude, that's really bad. That's awful. I genuinely can't feel good. And here's a true story. I was actually asked, as I'm developing FAVA and all that stuff, thinking of what are ways that we can grow the company and obviously make money. And people told me, why don't you charge companies $5 an hour and take $1 from each person, take $1 an hour. So essentially you guys pay your virtual assistant $5 an hour and then FAVA takes $1 of that. And over time, right, we have over 50 clients, that could look good. But to be honest with you, I hate that type of business model. I don't feel good taking someone else's money, especially when they've earned it. And $1 an hour for me is I don't know. I just don't feel good about that. I'd rather figure out ways to create more value and think of ways to really grow the company outside of taking money from the virtual assistant themselves. So if you guys are paying your VAs and $3 an hour. Don't be surprised if they're already looking for another job. Don't be surprised if they're looking for other agencies to place them. Don't be surprised if they quit and don't show up because you're paying them almost nothing. So we'll talk a little bit more about developing them and all that good stuff, but just be wary about that. And I see this all the time. I see people posting. I had to ban people from our groups. They're like posting, oh yeah, we have VAs for $2 an hour. Remember, you pay, you get it for what you get what you pay for, right? So if you're paying cheap, you're going to get cheap results. Your clients are doing the same thing. When your client, you're an agency owner, and he says, hey, you're offering me this for $2,500. Someone else is offering them for $500. You're kind of screwed. This guy's offering, similar services for 5 times less. But normally they are shittier results. They're worse results. They don't know what they're doing, right? They usually come in front and they leave the next month. So really ask yourself, if I'm paying my employees, I'm paying people cheap, and I'm trying to count expenses, is it really growing the company? Am I really growing the company, or am I just cutting on expenses and saving a few dollars here and there? You don't want to be cheap when it comes to your company. Why do you guys think I've been working with Joel for almost 3 years? It's been I started in August of 2018. It's almost been 3 years. He's paid me. He's paid me well. I've made multiple 6 figures now. Like, of course, do I want to make more? Absolutely. But giving me the opportunity, even starting this company and all that good stuff. So pay people well. They'll stick with you long term. They're loyal. Loyalty starts with, in the beginning, starts with you actually accommodating your people, especially if the value is there. Be cautious of the way, be cautious of these people that are selling you VAs as well, because a lot of times they're not even filtering them. They're just finding them VAs randomly off the street and like, yo, just fill this out and do this and do that. If some of you guys, I don't know if you're watching this, if you're watching replay, but some of you guys have paid thousands of dollars. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5K for a single virtual assistant that does a very singular job, right? Whether it's fulfillment, whether it's prospecting, cold calling, that's a lot of money, man. If they're just offering you a single virtual assistant for I'm talking about multiple thousands of dollars, and there's no added value, you should be a little bit cautious when you're spending that kind of money. Now here's last but not least, this is super important. If you're a brand agency or you're a scaling agency, your best usage of your time is not talking on interviewing and going through thousands of applications of virtual assistants. Especially when you're brand new in the space, your best usage of your time is to create an offer, right? Focusing on your niche, understanding what you're selling, A through Z, by creating a product that you're selling. But most importantly, is to set appointments and close appointments. And we shove that in your mouth. We've been in your mouth, especially if you guys have been in this group for a long time, for so long, because a lot of you guys are spending time, and I'll talk about some of the things you guys are spending time on, because you're for some reason either scared or you don't want to pull the trigger on setting appointments or closing these guys. And this is where it starts. This is your company. Your company is setting appointments and closing appointments. It's not your VA, right? Everybody knows that VA it's one of the most, if not the most replaceable employee you potentially have. So if you're spending hours a day, hours a week, looking, finding, and hoping that you find the right person, something's not right. You're not really building a business from this. So hopefully it makes sense. Here, I want to see if he has any insights to share, because he actually has a virtual assistant. He's had one for, I want to say, he'll be able to say better than me, but I want to say he's had this for about like 6 months or something like that. So let me hide this Christian in here.
Wait, can you hear me?
Boom. Yep, we're good.
Okay, so in my case, I hired my virtual assistant immediately when I decided to jump on a new offer on a niche that I knew nothing about, which was real estate. That was last September. No, actually almost October. So I hired my VA, and my VA actually taught me stuff that I didn't know. He built a cold email system that's pretty much the same way as Joel taught, that I knew how to do it. Like, I had done Joel cold email masterclass, but I don't want to say the time. I didn't have like the whole knowledge to do, okay, how to set up 30 email accounts to run simultaneously, buying SIM cards. And my VA did all of that for me. And he scraped leads for me. He set up like a whole system, which started to get me intro calls with realtors from week 1.
That's crazy. It's literally crazy. That's like, and that's fair. Like, I think you got a damn VA. Always brag about him. Just give it. What's his name? Let's give him a shout out. I don't know if I lost Christian there. We lost Christian for a second. Let me have him go back to our training. Okay, guys. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the trainings you guys need to provide for your VA, because if you got the topics, how to find, we just cover how to find them. It's multiple ways. You just have to be wary of where you're going to find these people. Number one, and then number two, it's to train them, right? So what training are you guys providing? And what I've seen is most people, when they start an agency, and maybe they've done this for a little bit longer, whatever else it is, the training, typically your VA starts off as a prospecting virtual assistant. That's normally what I see is a prospecting virtual assistant. So you want to make sure that before you hire this virtual assistant, and it's funny because one of the things Joel talks about all the time is sell and create. But when it comes to hiring, and especially a virtual assistant, especially a salesperson, especially an account manager, you want to make sure that you have systems in place, right? You guys hear this all the time. You know, my story, took me months to close. But in reality, Marcos and Joel did not have their systems together when it comes to sales. They didn't have a demo, they didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. So it was a mess. So when you hire someone, you don't want to bring them on and then build it. You want to build it and then bring someone on, right? When you're selling something, you can sell and create it. Okay, you guys can look at it both ways. That said, what matters is make sure you have SOPs in place. Make sure you have SOPs in place to actually help your VAs succeed. You're not hiring them to fail. Right? What happens with Christian is very rare. That usually is very rare for VA to come up and build out. That means that you usually have to find someone good, and you have to find someone with experience. And sometimes that happens. If you find the right company, wink, wink, you can find those virtual assistants. But a lot of times that doesn't happen, especially you go to Upwork, you go to Facebook groups, and these guys are brand new and they speak pretty good English, right? And some of the best ways to prospect. Wait, Christian, they can't hear you. Hold on.
So in my case, sorry, I got cut off. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me well?
Yep. Good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, my audio cut out. So my virtual assistant had experience in the real estate niche, and that allowed me to actually leverage his knowledge and expertise for my niche. And he said, okay, we should start with cold email. Then I didn't know how really to give him full access to do Facebook and Instagram access. And then he said, yeah, we can do LastPass. So it was a collaborative approach.
Yeah, and
I got lucky. I would say I got lucky.
You did. And I want to make sure that when you hire people, you don't just get lucky. That's not the way hired. You don't want to just get lucky about hiring people. You want to have a certain a way to consistently hire quality people. Are you gonna here and there hire the wrong people? Yes, but if you consistently hire the wrong people, there's something off. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But I'm gonna share your if you want to if you're on the B lot, if you look in the left corner of the screen, you can actually share your screen. I'm gonna exit mine, and I want you to talk about the SOPs, how you've built them, because you built some pretty amazing SOPs when it comes to your agency, and even for us. I want to make sure you're able to see that.
Okay, let's start sharing screen.
Yeah.
Let me know whenever you guys can see it. Can you see my screen right now? Okay, so the first step, you need to create SOPs. You need to do a brain dump of tasks that need to be done. Omer, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me well?
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
I
perfect.
Screen. Next is go full screen on the presentation.
Okay. So whenever you create SOPs, whenever you decide to create SOPs for your agency, the first step is doing a brain dump of tasks that need to be done. For example, I also do websites. Every month, I have at least 1 or 2 clients, typically that I do a website for 800, 700, sometimes 1,000. So let's say you have a SEO and web design agency, and this is your process. Whenever a client comes, then there is getting the invoice paid, getting the contract signed, and doing website login credentials. Let's say that's how it works in your agency. So then what you need to do, you need to start writing step by step what needs to be done. For example, for SEO client work, you can say, okay, step number 1 is on-page optimization, optimizing title tags, optimizing headers, subheaders, and description, alt tags and images, press release, write the press release, include the links, call to action, send the press release to media distributors, content creation, research, define keyword density, backlinks, Web 2.0. Really, each agency is unique. Like some agencies that do, for example, e-commerce Facebook ads, they do a in-house creative and they have like a videographer that sends the creative to the ads manager. So you need to know exactly what tasks are needed whenever a client comes. Some people don't know that. They're like randomly saying, okay, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to test a new campaign. It's better if you have a standardized process that is written down and you have a video recording in Loom for everything. Once that exists, this is what you do. So you write them one by one, step by step in order, preferably bullet points. Include screenshots to make this a no-brainer. Language should be as clear as possible. If using jargon or technical language, you should provide definitions and examples. You should always proofread your SOP, insert screenshots, images where it corresponds, save them in a Google Drive, give access to your VA. And ideally, you want to organize your SOPs by category, especially if your agency offers many services. So that said, anybody can do the tasks following the SOP. If people can't follow your SOP, then the SOP is not good enough. So that's the litmus test of the effectiveness and clarity of an SOP. If you want to be able to bring any VA on board, if the SOPs are clear enough, then a new VA can accomplish that. So drop a 1 right now if you have any questions about what I'm saying right now, or Omer, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in. So for prospecting, I've never used process street. But I would say for prospecting, let's say you have a process to do data scraping, you have a script, and what softwares are you using? Do you use like Go High Level to do text blast? Do you use, let's say, D7 Lead Finder or Brand Spark Leads to do prospecting? Then you need to give your VA access to all of that. You need to write step by step. Okay, number 1, do scraping here in the morning. Then you're gonna send the emails. You're gonna split test templates A and B, etc.
I think the biggest thing is, I will say, when I came to us, Marcos and Joel, they had SOPs for our 2 VAs. Shout out to Mari, shout out to Marion. And man, they had so many different tasks inside of Asana and lines, and like it was. I remember looking at it, I'm like, dude, if you fail this job, like, you just didn't read it. They made it very simple. They made it. And I don't remember where, if you guys watch The Office, but there's a part where Michael was like the main character. He's a silly, goofy boss. He asks someone to explain something like he's 5 years old. That's literally how I would write SOPs. It's like, I'm explaining this to a 5-year-old. Literally, because you don't want them to mess up. If you write something so simple in a very easy language, you don't use big words, you make it very simple. You get extra. If you have to write an extra task just to make sure that the other tasks make sense, perfect. Want to make sure that it just makes sense A through Z. Like, that's the biggest thing. SOPs have to make sense. These people, right? These guys you're hiring, they're virtual assistants. They're not. They don't in the U.S. They are English is most likely their second, sometimes their third language. So they're already having to think in another language. Most of you guys, if you're watching this, watching the replay, you only speak one language. That's the truth. You just speak English. I don't think anyone here is speaking Spanish, but all you guys are speaking one language, right? Christian and I are Christian, you're bilingual, right? I know you speak Spanish too.
Yeah.
I'm trilingual. Yep. I can tell you, I mean, I speak pretty good Hebrew, and my Russian's okay, but thinking the language is really difficult. I actually pitched people in Hebrew, and it was way harder than pitching people in English. Like, not like literally, I'm like having to find words, and I'm from Israel, like I know how to speak Hebrew like pretty well. So you have to put yourself in their shoe, where if your SOPs are all over the place, you're skipping steps, it's not very direct. It's not like you literally, if you have a younger sibling, a younger kid, whatever else it is, you need to be able to hand over the SOPs, and this 5-year-old can explain to what to do. That's how simple it has to be. I'm serious. It sounds ridiculous, sounds crazy, but when I came to Dallas and I saw the SOPs they had for our VAs, and analysts, I was like, oh shit, like they're not gonna mess up. And guess what? Those VAs have been there for longer than I have been there. Marcon has been in that list for almost 3 years. So this is a testament that if you have the right procedures in place, you find the right people, you're gonna be able to develop the right person. So Christian, go back. I'm gonna hide myself, and you can. You did you finish the SOPs or?
I'm gonna chime in here. Yes. So about the SOPs, I recommend that you have actually. Let me share an example. So I'm gonna start sharing my Google Drive. I have some examples of SOPs. So what actually Joel recommends is that you first of all record Loom videos for every single thing that you do, from connecting like Zapier to go high level, to connecting go high level to Asana, to like creating ClickUp project management tools, project management cards, etc. You have SOPs for everything. For example, let me show you some of my SOPs. For example, for FAVA work, for recruiting candidates, I have SOPs. I have like, what are the credentials, etc. Like how to send invoices, where exactly do we find candidates, where exactly, like what's the order of our hiring funnel, like where should we say, okay, for example, XYZ, what happens if we don't find candidates in one day? What happens if we need more candidates? I have like everything. Where to find from organic, how to write notes for applications, how to do how to do end of day report, etc. So that means I can do my job because I know exactly what needs to be done. If I ever forget, okay, like what do I do in this case? I just consult the guide. And my VA also can help me. That's why I'm in Las Vegas this week, but we've been able to help either new clients or hot leads who were expecting VA applicants and checking candidates, because my VA knows I know how to do my job, and my VA also knows how to be my right hand.
Fire.
And that's crucial.
Fire.
Yep.
Yes. I have. Did you just finish the last step on?
Yeah, I wanted to finish this one slide. So, yeah, the final goal, as I was saying, is having the clarity of an SOP. Also, first of all, I recommend, your first time doing SOPs, if you've never done SOPs, forget about Asana, forget about ClickUp, just do like Google Drive docs, then record videos, and then do screenshots. If you have a bigger team, and then you have like more people in your team and people who have better technical expertise, you can start creating like Asana board, and say, seeing, okay, like for a web design client, phase 1 discovery, phase 2 design and development, phase 3 test launch. And here in this case, these guys have like less details, it says welcome packet, project brief discovery, but that happens only when everybody knows how to do everything. So when you're at the stage that all your team members are like super well versed in web design, Facebook ads, then you might start getting less and less detailed. But the idea when you start is that an SOP can be done by anybody. So that's the litmus test.
Absolutely fire. Yep. Absolute fire. So, and if you guys are watching this and you're wondering where the heck to get these SOPs, well, we have some of the best SOPs in the world. I believe we have the best SOPs in the world. I know Christian got some of the SOPs from the 7FA course. I see Ryan and Elise on here. Out to you guys getting SOPs. If you guys want SOPs, that's literally 1% of what we give you, which is important 1%. Cool. Let's talk about so we went through SOPs, and then let's talk about develop, because now this is one of the things that I see all the time, and I see this, and I want to say this. We're going to focus on virtual assistants, but I want to talk a little bit about developing just your team members in general. It's crazy how many people come to me because they lose team member, because at this point I've been able to hire or I would say not necessarily hire, but I've been able to find about 30 to 40 people jobs, and a lot of them are still working in them, some of them are not. So let's talk a little bit about developing. We're going to focus on VAs, but I'm going to give you guys some tips about developing your team in general. So one of the biggest reasons I see VAs leaving and quitting or whatever the case may be, is because of lack of development and growth. And I saw that with, when I was working at Atlas. I see this all the time with the agency clients we have at 7FA. I mean, we have over 300 clients at this point. And it's really because it's very simple, right? First of all, you guys are paying them minimal salary, right? You guys are paying them $3, $4, $5 an hour. So it's not a lot, even though for them it might be a little bit more. It's still not that much money, right? It's still not like they're making a killing. They're surviving, they're eating well. They're making essentially what 40 to 50K a year the US makes. But imagine making $40,000 a year. You're married, you have a house to pay for, you have 2 kids. That's not a lot of money. That's like getting away. You're not able to save. You're not able to retire successfully, all that good stuff. So that's the first thing, right? You're not paying them much, but let's not talk about pay, because they've got to earn it, right? Got to provide the value where you guys are able to pay them more over time. I don't want to talk too much about pay. I want to really talk about being able to develop them, because in the end of the day, these virtual assistants, they're still human beings, man. But they're human beings. So if you tell the person to do the same job, sending out emails, sending out LinkedIn messages and Facebook messages and Instagram messages for a whole year, something's off. Now, here's what I mean by that. This is very important. Either the VA does not want to grow, like they are not wanting to grow. They don't want to develop. They are just fine sending out emails all the time and sending out messages and doing the same old shit that they've done for the last year, or haven't given them the opportunity to rise. You haven't given them the opportunity to develop and become something more than just an email blaster and a LinkedIn blaster. Now, mind you, in the first month, 2, 3, 6 months, maybe even a year, sure, the first year, maybe that's all they do. If you really want to grow your team and you really want to find A players, you absolutely have to find ways to get creative and giving them tasks that are going to help them step outside of the comfort zone. So to give you an example, if someone is doing prospecting for me, right, maybe I'm going to give them, and I think I talk about this a little bit more on the next slide, maybe I'm letting them create some of the scripts, right, depending on their English level. Maybe if they're creative, maybe they know how to build funnels. Maybe they know how to build websites. Maybe they can help me with SEO or Google ads or Facebook ads or creative. Why? What else can I help these guys do that's going to help them step outside the comfort zone? Because we all want our salespeople to get better. We all want our account managers to get better. We all want the CEO and the whatever, everybody get better. But you guys treat your VAs like you want them to do the same old tedious work forever. And you were wondering why they leave, why they quit, why they don't show up, why there's days where they're in and out, and you're like, oh, my VA sucks. They're bad. Are there VAs that are better than others? 100%. There's salespeople that are better than others. There's account managers that are better than others. There's agencies that are better than others. I know this. So if I was to start an agency today, in the first few months, I am making sure that my VA masters whatever the tasks I'm giving them, right? Whether it's prospecting, whether it's fulfillment. Over time, I am asking them to do things that are a little bit outside the comfort zone. I'm getting creative with the tasks I'm giving them, and I'm trying them. And I'm okay with them failing. What I'm not okay is with them not trying to develop. I'm not okay with them doing the same old thing over and over and over and over again for years. That is literally how companies die. This is exactly why office jobs and people that work in offices are dying, because you're doing the same old thing for 30, 40, 50 years. That's not going to work in today's day and age. I'm sorry. We have too much ADD, too much ADD, no attention span for you to sit there and expect a person to do the same work for years is ridiculous. So I'll give you guys an example, and I don't usually brag, but this is one of the things I feel like I'm really good at, is I want to develop everybody on my team. Right now I'm going to give a huge shout out to Pablo, huge shout out to Veronica, and huge shout out to Christian. Because really without them, this presentation wouldn't be here. I would not have been able to help a lot of these agency owners get trained, qualified virtual assistants. And on a weekly, on a daily basis, challenge them. I want them to do something that they are not really used to doing. I want them to grow and figure out, hey, how do you develop? How do you create a course? How do you teach someone how to prospect? How do you sell? Christian always figures out what to sell. Always comes back to me, wants to sell better, right? And consistently, I want us to grow, because I want in order for me to grow, and my team, I can't just be the one growing and getting better and developing. I need everybody else to grow and rise with me. And one of the things I've realized, and this is a true story, the client, shout out to Eric, his VA is so talented. Shout out to Danny. We're actually interviewing her in our group this week. And Man, he hired Danny to just prospect for him. And now she's developing websites. She's helping with client retention. She's doing all this stuff that he was just like, dude, I have no idea how to do this. She designed his logo. Like, wow. There are some of these virtual assistants, I'm telling you guys, it's 100%. Is it? Let's see if it's choppy. Let me. Yeah, I hear the little choppiness. It's my internet. My internet mic. I'm in Colombia, Medellin. So internet's a little choppy. Hopefully, it's not too choppy. If it's too choppy, let me know. Maybe I'll fix it. I don't know if it's my mic here. I'll take my mic off. But what I wanted to say essentially is, if we are expecting our employees, whether it's sales and account managers, to develop and become better salespeople, become better at client retention, our media buyers better at getting client results, why would we not expect our VAs to get better? Why would we not expect the people that we pay the least to also get better? Because I'm telling you, some of these guys are way more talented than some of these American workers. It's literally not even close. I'm not even joking. I'm actually I'm baffled by the amount of people that hire American employees to do VA tasks, because American employees charge $3, $4, $5K a month to do the easiest tasks in the world that someone in the Philippines or South America or Mexico or wherever it is, right? Because the salary there, the salary average is a lot lower there. The exact same work, and you're paying someone so much more money to do this easy job. It's flabbergasting to me. It's funny. It's actually one of the reasons why I started this company, is because I wanted to figure out, how do I get this into agency owners, but I want to eventually get this to every single person in the US potentially that needs a virtual assistant, because you're paying someone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10K a month to do a job that someone in the Philippines would do for literally a percentage of, and they'll be happy if you pay them $5 an hour. They'll be ecstatic, and they'll stay with you forever, and they'll be so loyal to you and treat you like gold. Right? Obviously, the human interaction is not going to be there, because in person, I should say, but we're moving into a virtual world. I'm in Medellin, Christian's in Vegas. All of you guys, I know this is in Australia. All of you guys are all over the world. So we're all moving towards the space of everybody's virtual. Why would we pay someone just because they're in person, pay them more? It makes no sense to me, but it's fine. Don't worry. We're going to change the world. It's already done. But here's some of the ways. Like, what are some of the ways you guys can give them opportunity to develop? Right, I just talked about it. If they've been prospecting for you guys for a while and they speak pretty good English, like you guys can have a full-on conversation with them, man, have them come up with some scripts. You guys would be surprised. They see some of the things that you guys don't. Have them come up with scripts. Obviously, again, this depends on the English level, right? If you guys have bought courses, some of you guys have bought 7FA. So I'm looking at some of you guys that have bought 7FA and you have a VA, and there's thousands of hours of content on there, literally. And I will never expect you guys to watch that, because we put this together for years. But man, you have a virtual assistant on your team that can watch it and take some notes and literally give you back feedback. I want to give a shout out to Icon Becker, who's one of my close friends, puts on events for the top dogs in this game. And he literally told me that he has some of his virtual assistants go through courses and literally just give him the key points, right? Courses are hours and hours long. We're working, we're selling, we're doing all this stuff, and then we pay something and we don't even take advantage of it, right? And then guess what? You can come up with create opportunities for them to level up, right? Come up with snapshots, automations, zaps, spreadsheets. There's some things that they can learn. If you are confident in the person that you have and they really want to be there and they're there for a long time, you can create these opportunities for them. The problem is that you guys don't create these opportunities for them. You pay them very little, and then you're shocked that they leave you within 2-3 months, and then you blame the company that you got them from, you blame the virtual assistant, but you never ever take full-on responsibility. And I'm going to go over that on the last bullet point here. Here's the other thing. Is there a chance that your VA does not want to develop? 100%, right? Just like there's American employees that are totally okay with being an office manager or a CA, chiropractic assistant, or assistant in general, and they're okay with just checking people in, checking people out, and they're happy $9 an hour. That's 100%. But if you truly want to build a successful business that's fully automated and that's growing, right? You don't want to just build a business that's automated and that's not growing. Maybe if it's doing really well, sure, but you want it to continue growing. You want to make more money, make a bigger impact. The only way you do that is by finding people that you consistently want to develop. To give you guys an example, Joel, when This was probably 2 or 3 months ago. He took off a week or two in Puerto Rico. Literally didn't talk to the team, didn't talk to anyone. I don't even think he talked to his own business partners. And we still sold. We still did our thing. Joel has been able. This is why Joel's a genius. So for you guys who are working with him, if you guys have been following Joel, Joel's genius is not just marketing and sales and all that stuff. Like, he's great at all those. His genius is finding people to believe so much in his vision that when he's gone, it's still being built. And I've seen him do this now with 2 companies. This is literally why people pay Joel so much money. They pay him because he's been able to build not 1, 2 $1 million businesses. Let me take that back. Build 2 multi-million-dollar businesses that are continuing scaling, they're growing, and they're fully automated. Like, it's insane. It's incredible. And this is why I've been sticking around with Joel for 3 years, right? I've had opportunities to go make more money elsewhere. I care about that. I will make more money with Joel. What I see is, how do I take that genius and recreate it here? It's by developing people. It's by finding the right people. And normally, the reason I'm so into this right now, guys, is because your VAs usually, most of the time, what I see is your first hire. It's not a salesperson, account manager, just typically a VA most of the time. And that means that typically the VA that you hire is typically your longest reigning employee. So you got to make sure 100,000% that this person is here with you long term. You don't want to be a person that keeps switching VAs and 1 month they're here, next month they're not. Same thing with salesperson, right? And the way you do that is by continuing challenging them, continuing rewarding them, having consistent communication, knowing, like, one of the things I learned on here is have an open and honest conversation. I know what Pablo, I know what Christian, I know what Ronnie want to do with their life, and I want to help them get there because I know if I help them get there, I'm already there. So just like you guys want to take care of your salespeople, your account managers, you absolutely have to take care of your virtual assistants, even if they're the least amount. They might have the quote unquote easiest work. They might be your least employees. You absolutely have to make sure you're taking care of them, right? What do they want to do in life? Where do they want to go? Do they have a family? Who do they want to take care of? Why do they want to make money? They can go get a job at a restaurant and make 50 cents an hour. Why do they want to make $3 an hour, $1 an hour, right? Get to know them. These are human beings. And it's crazy the amount of disrespect that the industry's had for so long on virtual assistants. Even I was so oblivious to it until I started this, 7-8 months ago, because it's crazy to me. But last but not least, here's the thing. If you've been hiring VAs consistently and every month or 2 or 3, you have to hire a new one and they come and go and you can't find one consistently, you got to ask yourself, am I actually finding the wrong people? Right? Am I finding the wrong people? Or is something wrong with my leadership? Is something wrong with my leadership? Like, because when you're such a small company and you have people come and go, there's got to be something's off. Like, when it's a big company like Walmart and Target, like, yeah, they have people come and go, they don't give a shit. But when you're a small company, and I'm talking about like you're making less than $100K a year, right? Even $250K a year, $500K a year. These are small companies. Like, yeah, you guys are doing relatively well, but these are still small companies. Why do you people come and go? What's going on, right? Are you consistently finding the wrong people? That's potential. Or is something wrong with your leadership? Are you not growing as a leader where you're being able to find the right people in the first place? Because you want to hire slow and fire fast. So are you just hiring the first person you see, or are you hiring the wrong people, even if it's taking you 3, 4, 5 people to see, right? So hopefully this has been valuable, guys. Drop a 1, at least. Shout out to you. Thank you for that comment. We're almost done. We have about 10 minutes left. I gotta take a call in just a minute. Or I should say in about 10 minutes. We are almost done. Christian, do you have anything to say? Anything to intervene?
That there is a book called The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and he says, like, literally, when you tell your VA the end goal, like the end result, not just the task, but you say, hey man, like I want to delegate this work for you because I want to be able to accomplish XYZ because I want to increase my top line revenue, then you are giving more accountability, and you're giving him or her the opportunity to not just like do a task, like let's say just do it like email blast, but to actually reflect on their work, to say, okay, maybe this script is not working. Instead, if you just tell a VA, hey, send 1,000 cold emails a day without any accountability or result, then the VA say, okay, I'm doing my job and I'm sending 1,000 emails a day. But if there are no replies, the VA should say, okay, like why aren't there replies? Is it deliverability rate is low, open rate is low, maybe the offer is weak, maybe the scripts are weak. So then your VA becomes more of a thinking person, not just a transactional employee.
Man, that's a really, really, really good point, Christian. Just holding them accountable. I think
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was a good point. What I was saying is, absolutely, you want to challenge your team. Like they're sending out emails, they're sending out the messages. They can see what's working, what's not. Is it the script? Make them challenge them on a regular basis. This is absolutely huge. Let me slide back in, Christian. We about 10 minutes. I want to make sure we get to some of the nitty gritty stuff. Cool. One of the things that we just touched upon is what your guys' focus should be. And it's pretty obvious that if you're growing agency, at any point you get 0, you can be at 10K, you can be at 20K. Your focus should be SACA. What is SACA? SACA's favorite abbreviation of time. It's setting appointments, closing appointments. I need to trademark that for one of you guys to kill it and make sure it's out of SACA. Setting appointments and closing appointments, right? It's very, very easy to focus on the wrong things, right? The website, your logo, things that are not going to make you money. What matters is focusing on the thing that's going to drive revenue to you. To focus on the things that are going to make you actually be able to travel, right? Just so you guys understand, like the ability of having VAs and the right VAs is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of these guys have been able to scale. For instance, Atlas Digital, when I was there, this was about a year ago, and I still talk to Marcos a lot. They have like 10 to 15 VAs running, doing prospecting for them, doing cold calling, doing fulfillment, running ads, like all the things you guys can think of. Like they're paying VAs relatively well because relatively well compared to a VA salary. But $2,000 for a VA, that's like $10,000 for an American, and these guys are better, in my opinion, than some of the American employees that we had, which is absolutely crazy. So again, your focus is sending appointments and closing appointments. That's it. Not building websites, not logo, unless you're making money off websites, unless you're making money off logos, sure. But if you're an agency and you're selling a service, whether it's Facebook ads, SEO, Google, whatever, Google ads, YouTube ads, that's your goal. It's how do I create an amazing offer? What niche am I in, right? What offer do I have? How am I sending appointments consistently, and how do I close guys? That is your core offer. So if you're watching this, you're probably wondering, hey, what do I do next if I want to look for a VA? Because maybe, I've looked into Facebook groups and I got 1,000 comments, or I didn't get anyone good, or how do I find this? How do I find the right VA? How do I get lucky like Christian and have a VA that's been working for me for almost 7 months and helps me, with prospecting and building out my back end and automations and whatever the case may be, and help me travel, right? Again, I'm in Medellin, Colombia. If you guys are in Medellin, connect with me. He's in Vegas. I'm going to Atlanta this upcoming weekend, and Miami and Denver and Aruba and back to Colombia. A lot of travel, which is amazing. And again, it's credit to the team, credit to people that I work with, which is amazing. So how you guys find this virtual assistant, how you guys get lucky, it's very simple. You have to find a company, right, that actually gives a fuck, has a bulletproof system to find these people. Because most companies don't care. They just don't. I've dealt with them. You guys have probably dealt with them. They'll take your money. They won't give you a refund. They don't have an amazing offer. They don't do any of that stuff. right? And a lot of you guys are spending your time on places you shouldn't be spending time on, spending money on places you shouldn't be spending money on. And you find someone with a foundation in this industry, someone with a track record of producing results, and someone who actually cares and delivers to the community, consistently delivers to the community. I mean, who has given you guys more free value than Joel and Sergio and myself and Mark and 7FA team and Brayson and Dima? Who's giving you guys more free value than us? I have no idea, because I'm in a lot of these groups. I'm in a lot of them. I mean, probably more than a lot of you guys. And I never see the amount of two-steps that are being on there. Like the amount of content that we put out for free. You guys can genuinely get agency to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, just with our free stuff. Like I hardcore believe that, right? We help you do it faster and we help you do it better. But just with the free stuff, Joel's YouTube and going through the content and going through the interviews and going through all that stuff we posted, you guys can scale the agency. I'm not just myself, the whole team at 7F and Agency Lab, we believe that. So going back to here, where is this company? How do you guys find someone with the track record and bulletproof systems and a foundation? And that's really where FAVA comes in. And I think you guys have maybe seen my profile. You guys I've heard the term FAVA come in, but I actually have no idea where the FAVA came in. I just kind of came up with it. And then Pablo was like, does it stand for Effing Awesome Virtual Assistants? And I was like, I like that. That does stand for that. So introducing FAVA. And just a quick story about FAVA. How did FAVA come up? Because it wasn't like, if you guys talked to me a year ago, swear to God, if you're still watching this live, shout out to you, because this is a true story. Exactly a year ago, I had no intentions of starting a company. I just wanted to become a closer and then go to the high ticket and just sell, higher and higher ticket. I really had no intention of becoming a CEO of any sort. And I was actually in Vegas at 10X around February, so a little over a year ago. And Jana, who's the operation manager at AC Lab, asked me, "Do you just be closer? Do you just want to make money? Like, what do you want to do?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just want to be closer and sell more tickets." She's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, keep doing your thing." And then in July, I left Atlas Digital and went to work with Joel at Agency Lab full time, selling a ticket. And, picking up stride. At this point, I've sold nearly 150 people into the program, which is amazing. Some of you guys are watching this, and shout out to you guys, and you guys have made me better. And it's humbling. Honestly, every time I make a sale, it humbles me more and more. And around October, November, Pablo, who was working at Atlas Digital, he came to me and he was like, "Hey man, look, I've been working here for about a year and I kind of stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what the next step are." And at that time, this was around October, I was just a few months into working with Joel. I really did not have a solution for him. I was like, I'm usually a person with solutions. You guys come to me, I'll find a solution for you. But I just did not have a solution for him. And true story, that same week, I lost 2 deals to other coaching programs that weren't better than us. Didn't have a better offer. They weren't cheaper than us. They were exact same price. We offered way more value, more coaching calls, more content, more social proof. We had everything better than them. The only thing that we were missing was trained virtual assistants. The only reason I lost 2 deals was not because the program was better, was because they placed trained virtual assistant. And I thought to myself, not only did I lose 1, I lost 2 deals. I'm wondering how many deals are my teammates? How many deals are other salespeople? We had 5 salespeople, 4 salespeople at the time. How many deals are they losing? And I just couldn't let that happen again. So I messaged Pablo and asked him, "Hey man, can you," and Veronica, who's a sister, she was actually my personal virtual assistant for like months. And I asked them, "Hey, can you guys give me a list of virtual assistants?" And they, true story, actually gathered me hundreds of virtual assistants within days. Like literally, I couldn't believe it, like within days. And at first, obviously some of them were better than others. And then we figured out a way to filter them out. We figured out a way to how to consistently get quality results. 7FA actually has hired 2 VAs from me. And really from November, we've helped over 50 agencies get qualified virtual assistants. And the reason I'm so in tune about actually caring, because if you guys do not find the right assistant going through our company, I'm going to make sure we find you the right person. I don't care how many people it takes, we will find you that right person. It's not about us taking your money. I want to make sure that we find you the right person, because my goal is for you guys to come back and get more people from me. My goal is to get some news from you. My goal is for you to send me other agency owners. And the only way you guys will ever do any of those things, send me a testimonial, send me an agency owner, is by actually delivering on what I said I would, which is finding you an amazing virtual assistant that's trained and giving you guys all the value that we give. So here are some of the people that we work with: Santa May, Jeremy McNally, Eric, James, Utsby, and Chad and Ty, and we have many more testimonials on our website, which is usefava.com. But before I go, what would you guys be getting if you worked with FAVA? Well, first things first, your virtual assistants are only $4 an hour. So they're not $2 an hour, but $4 more, which is full time. It's about $600 to $700 a month, which means that if your agency is doing over 4 or 5K a month, 3K a month, you're able to afford this virtual assistant, right? Especially if you have another way of making income and all that good stuff. And I always ask people, were you going to say something, Christian? I don't know if you were talking. I always ask people, like, if you are not able to afford your virtual assistant, you're not going to be able to afford us. And we're not we're literally one of the least expensive VA agencies in the market, 100%. We will be more expensive as time goes on because we're going to add more value to you. But $4 an hour, if you're not able to afford $4 an hour full time, you can start them part time, right? Only $300 a month at 20 hours a week, right? What we do, we're going to give them daily training. We're writing guys to the Facebook group where we do literally daily trainings every single day. We incorporate the things that we learned from 7-figure agency, prospecting and fulfillment, right? You get access to our client success manager at all times. So if you have any issues with your VA, if you have any issues, they're not showing up or something's off, you have access to this person to talk to so we can find you a solution, find you a replacement, right? You're getting inside access to our private Facebook group where we release a lot of our trainings. We do the Facebook Lives. You get to network with other agency owners, whatever the case may be. And then if needed, we'll do one-on-ones. I've hopped on a few one-on-ones to help some of these guys across the team. Christian will hop on one-on-ones. Pablo, Veronica, we will hop on ones with your VA or you to help you out. Again, it's about delivering results. It's about putting your money where our mouth is. It's not about taking your money and not giving a fuck and not showing up. I care, and I want to make sure that this is one thing that I learned from Joel, actually caring about the clients. The reason Joel has been able to build a 8-figure business in literally 2 years is because he cares about clients. This man will lose sleep knowing if someone is not getting results, literally. So I learned that, and that was one of the biggest things I took away from him, and I want to implement that same thing when it's a FAVA. Some of the bonuses that we give away is our online training guide, mastering appointments, and cold calling guide, and a cold email guide, how to come up with offers, and really, I would say the very surface level basic things if you're new in the agency space. But overall, you get everything they need as far as finding your VA. We train them. A lot of them are, even because we've been running ads and we've been finding some aces, like literally aces. A lot of them are coming trained. Whether they're not, maybe some of them are more trained than others, we'll take care of the training. And we'll make sure that if they need any more support, they get the support. And in a worst case scenario, we have a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you guys didn't find any value from, if you didn't find the right VA and you want your money back, you get a full refund. So it's literally a way for us to get you the right person, make sure we get you the right person within that first month. You always have a good sense of someone within the first 30 days. And then make sure that they're there with you long term. I don't care about their month 1 or month 2, month 3. I want them to be with you for years. Literally, I want this person to serve you for as long as you have business, for as long as you really need them, and be able to support them and have them either send some of their friends or come back to FAVA and get more VAs. That's what I really care about. I saw a huge need in the industry when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to finding the right people. And this is literally why I started this. So if you're still watching this live, the offer, normally we charge new clients a one-time fee of just $1,500 to set everything up and get you guys the right VA. But for anyone that signs up, and I want to do it today, but I'm gonna extend it for this week because I owe you guys some things. I want to make sure you guys get them. I owe you guys our sales guide, account managing guide as well. So anyone that signs up this week, so this offer will last until Sunday, will get a $500 discount. So it's be a one-time fee of just $1,000. You get the right VA, you get into our group, you get all the resources in the world that you need. And this is usually the offer that I give people that are in 7FA. So this is usually an offer that I give only people in 7FA. Usually people outside of 7FA have to pay a little bit more. So guys, it's no brainer. We want to find you the right people. We want to make sure you develop right people and they're with you for a long, long time. And we've cracked the code on this. So hopefully, if you don't work with us for whatever reason, you find that right person. Truly, genuinely, just so you guys know, I care about you guys finding the right person. Do I hope that from my course I get paid? The Christian gets paid if that happens. But in reality, I care about you guys scaling more than you guys paying me. I'll find clients. There's thousands of agency owners. I care about you guys finding the right person, putting the right systems in place, make sure they're supportive, coming up with ways to get creative with them and helping them develop to that killer that you guys are looking for. So hopefully this all makes sense. Guys, drop a one, drop a thumbs up, whatever else it is. If you have questions, shoot me a DM. I'm putting together the drive to send out to you guys. So if you guys have not commented on the post that I did yesterday, if you guys want my 30 plus questions that I asked on almost every single sales call, you got to find the post, comment on there. We'll send it over to you. 7FA gets first dibs. So the people that are inside of Marketing Secrets are going to get this over in the next case. 7FA, you guys will get first dibs on that. Mark my words. And besides that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. We're going to continue providing value, continue being, honestly, this is the last thing I want to say. My goal is to provide you guys better free content than what you guys pay for. I want us to be literally the best, because I know that as long as I continue and Christian and some of our team continue giving you guys this amazing support, you guys are going to come back to buy something from me. So that's really generally all I care about. So guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Christian, any last words from you?
Yeah, so if you're on the fence, man, like, do it. Jump in it.
That's it. If you're on the fence, jump in. You heard Christian, and Christian doesn't lie. Look at innocent face. Come on. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you all. I'll see you guys next week and deliver all the goods over. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of Tuesday.